New technologies can bring new opportunities to education, often with exciting results. Blockchains, a distributed ledger technology, are no exception. But you may wonder, what is it, and how can it apply to education? Let's start with the technology. In simple terms, blockchains are a type of database that offer unique and powerful features. They are based on a list of chronological data, much like a traditional financial ledger. Each record contains a digital fingerprint called a hash that connects it to the previous record. That means each record in the ledger has a little bit of every other record that came before it, making it practically impossible to sneak in an undetectable change or to insert a fake record in the chain. One of the unique and defining features of blockchains is their distributed nature. Each participant in the blockchain network maintains a copy of all the data, and they all work together to validate and extend the chain as new blocks of data are added. Just like with any other database, the data storage technology is only part of the equation. Everything else that's done with or to the data, like permissions to view or change, encryption, or any processing or presentation of the data, is a layer on top of the blockchain. Is this clear as mud yet? The financial industry popularized blockchain technology with the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. But other industries, including logistics, real estate, and education, are finding its inherent transparency and potential to ensure trust to be useful tools. But you might be asking, how can this work with federal laws like the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, or FERPA, and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, as well as state and local laws that require personally identifiable information from student records be protected from unauthorized disclosure? If education blockchains include students' personally identifiable information, or PII, doesn't the technology's transparency make that available to everyone that accesses the chain? Well, just like any other technology, blockchains can be adapted to meet the education organization's particular needs. Some education organizations have employed blockchain technology to offer students a digital wallet, with each block in the chain containing reference to a degree, credential, or certificate. These wallets allow portability across a variety of education providers and potential employers. That is especially useful for today's increasingly mobile students as they follow non-traditional paths and earn a diverse variety of credentials. The blockchain format maintains the integrity of the record, assuring users it hasn't been improperly altered. Employers can rely on the integrity of credentials that students choose to share. And because in this case, the student's PII isn't stored directly on the blockchain, users don't have to worry about issues of open blockchains being transparent. Other education organizations have used private permissioned blockchain systems. Depending on the student's age and enrollment status, parents or students can choose whether or not to consent to information sharing with other education organizations, and the technology allows data to be easily transferred from one institution to another and back again. By allowing multiple institutions to maintain checks on student progress toward degree or certificate completion, the blockchain system ensures students are more likely to be awarded credentials in a timely manner. A third example of using the blockchain technology in education includes the entire student record, including students' PII, on a blockchain system, but uses programs to access the data and provide the same data processing, display, and information about students that we're used to seeing. In this case, users must ensure strict privacy controls are in place to protect students' PII from improper disclosure. And just like the millions of students educated in this country, there are millions of ways blockchain technology can be adapted to meet educational institutions' needs. But if you're thinking about using blockchain in your education system, what are the big privacy questions you need to consider? One of the hallmarks of a blockchain system is full transparency of the system's contents. Given the privacy requirements surrounding PII from education records and the distributed and transparent nature of many blockchain technologies, what are the most appropriate education use cases? Blockchain captures transactional data much like the financial ledger. So how can educators leverage the technology to solve problems involving data too large to reasonably store on a blockchain? How do existing privacy laws that govern the use of private student information like FERPA, IDEA, COPPA, and others impact the decisions and structure of blockchain solutions in education? Are data, including the student's PII, on the blockchain still maintained by the school, or can they be owned by the student? How does the education organization control access to students' personally identifiable information included in the blockchain if it's stored there? Can records anchored on blockchains enable education organizations to better track disclosure consent under FERPA exceptions? How will the system allow changes in permission for consent when the student enrolls in post-secondary education or when other federal or state laws affect permissions? Most importantly, what are some of the challenges in our education system that blockchain technology can help us solve, and how do school administrators, IT leaders, educators, parents, and students decide whether blockchains are the best solution? We don't have the answers for you yet, but we can say detailed and sometimes complex business rules must be determined in advance in order to answer these and other questions. The U.S. Department of Education's Privacy Technical Assistance Center and Office of Educational Technology continuously engage with the field around emerging technologies, use cases, and concerns. Check out our websites for additional resources around these issues, and please contact these offices with any questions, concerns, or ideas for assistance.